You wanted me back? I'm back. John Wick Chapter 2 is directed by Stahelski, starring Keanu Reeves in the title role, as well as a few other actors and actresses you may or may not know. They are Ian McShane, John Leguizamo, Lance Reddick, Lawrence Fishburne, Ruby Rose, and Ricardo Scamarcio. In this film, once again, the story centers around John Wick, who is a very highly skilled assassin. If you are familiar with the first film, you understand his particular set of skills. He is now thrust back into the world of high-caliber assassinations because he has to fulfill a debt. I just want to say, before I get into the review, there will not be any plot spoilers. Chad Stahelski and David Leitch directed the first John Wick film, but now Chad Stahelski is doing this film all by himself, and I have to say, the results are very much the same when it comes to the sheer awesomeness of this film. One of the most positive aspects I have with this film is that the action is fantastic. It is incredibly well done. The hand-to-hand fight choreography is fantastic. The lighting in the scenes are fantastic. The camera work is fantastic in this film as well. When you watch most action films, a lot of action films like to use editing to show their action. You know, they will cut from every punch to every kick to every movement. They will over-edit everything. But what Stahelski does with the John Wick films is that he likes to shoot most of the action sequences in master shots, in the sense that you get to see all of the action played out in front of you, so you get to see the richness of the stunt work and the fight choreography. Also, you have to appreciate that you can kind of tell that Keanu Reeves does most of the stunt work himself. But it's not only the action sequences that I find to be appealing about this film, it's also how much it expands on the first film, which I highly recommend that you watch before you see this film, so you understand all of the references that it makes to the world in which John Wick lives. In this film, particularly, it expands on the things that that film set up. It does what I think every sequel should strive to do, and that is build upon its predecessor. And I really hope that we get a third film that explores it even more. You also get a return of some of the characters you saw in the last film. John Leguizamo is back. Ian McShane, who is fantastic to see every time he shows up on a screen somewhere. Also Lance Reddick, who I'm sure many of you remember from a lot of the television series that he has been in over the years. Lawrence Fishburne is in this film, and if you're familiar with the relationship between Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves, they were in The Matrix together, which is a groundbreaking film from the late 1990s that seemingly every action film has tried to emulate it ever since. But despite all of the positives I have with this film, and there are an overabundance of them, there are of course some inherent negatives to a film like John Wick Chapter 2. It's not a film with a very rich plot. The action is kind of dictating the plot in this film, which is perfectly fine when it's done this well, but don't expect a film with a lot of meaningful dialogue or a really strong central plot or anything like that. This is very much an action film in every sense of the word. Also, this is not a film with really high quality acting, and it's a film that really doesn't need that in order to be successful and do what it wants to do. Keanu Reeves is fantastic as John Wick. He is everything I personally want to see from the character. Is his acting or line reading particularly great all the time? No. But there are other positive aspects in the film that I think overshadow the acting. Also, this is a film that feels very much like a middle part of a three-part series. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give the film a rather high score, and that is 4.2 out of 5 stars. The action is impeccably well done, the plot is good, and I'm going to find this film to be extremely rewatchable, probably more rewatchable than the first John Wick film. This has been my review of John Wick Chapter 2, directed by Chad Stahelski. If you like this video, please check out my other movie reviews, as well as the other videos on my channel.